Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences, and I have been serving here in Morgan County at the Cooperative Extension Service for many years, enjoying serving the people. The Cooking Through the Calendar that we're going to be talking about today is a program that is presented monthly to anyone who's interested in the topic. We actually conduct it live here at the Extension Service on most every second Tuesday of the month. And I have my coworkers who also assist. Kim Lane, our County Extension Agent for 4-H and Youth Development, does our physical activity portion of the program each month. And Sarah Fannin, who is our County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources, shares with us tips on growing the produce and getting it ready each month. And then I'm responsible for the recipe and sharing those tips on safe handling, on selection of our fruits and vegetables and our other items, preparation, safe handling, food safety, and also storage of those items after they're prepared. So be sure to join us at the Extension Service monthly for the complete program. But today I'm going to share with you the recipe and show you how it's made. We'll be preparing our pineapple fried rice in our session today. And the best thing to do, of course, before you cook is to gather all of your ingredients so that you don't miss something along the way. So today we're going to be using an 8-ounce can, which is this small can of pineapple tidbits, and we actually have drained that and reserved our juice because we're going to use that in our stir fry. Our second ingredient is 1 small onion, and we've already diced that ahead of time, and you may dice that as finely as you choose to, but we have that prepared and ready. 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, and you may use either fresh garlic or you may use the canned type of minced garlic that you can just measure out by the teaspoon. Red bell pepper, and we've already seeded that and have that ready to dice, and we've diced that finely to use today in our recipe and have it prepared. Our 2 cups of cooked brown rice, and we have our brown rice here, and of course that's a whole grain, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. We're using 1 cup of frozen peas and carrot mix, 1 cup of frozen corn, 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce, 2 eggs, and we already have those beaten with a fork and ready to use in just a few minutes, a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a tablespoon of hot sauce. Now don't panic, it won't be too hot, and a 1/2 cup of cooked shrimp that has been thawed, and we already have that thawed and ready to use. And then as an option, you may also chop a handful of chopped peanuts if you'd like to garnish the dish with that, and also a chopped green onion. And that's an option that you may or may not want to use in this recipe, depending on if you like it and or agreeing that there's no food allergies that you can use. So we're going to start today with our skillet, and we're going to actually, you can use a large skillet or a wok for this. I like to use a non-stick skillet because it helps us to reduce the amount of fat that we have to use so that our recipe is a little lighter and healthier. We're going to heat our reserved pineapple juice. Pour that in. And then we're going to add our onion and cook that for about 5 minutes until the onion actually just begins to brown. So sometimes we only cook that until it's clear, but in this particular recipe we want it to begin to brown just a little bit. All right, as you can see, our onion is beginning to get clear, and it has absorbed a lot of that pineapple juice. So we want to be sure and stir with our wooden spoon here, or a silicone utensil, so not to scratch our pan. And we want that just to begin to brown a little bit. So we have about another minute on that. And while that's finishing, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our cooked brown rice. We're going to be adding that next. And one of the reasons that we choose brown rice is it's actually a healthier alternative to white rice. It has more nutrients, more B vitamins, more niacin and riboflavin, so that it's healthier for us because the grain has not been stripped as much as with white rice. Our white rice sometimes is quicker cooking, but it's not hardly as nutritious for us. And I really believe if you'll actually try the brown rice, I think you'll like that because it actually has more flavor than the white rice does. So if you haven't tried that, pick up some and try it. They also make a quicker cooking brown rice, very similar to our minute rice that we've been used to and that we like. For cooking most rice, it's basically 1 to 2. 1 cup rice, 2 cups water, a little bit of salt. Put your little sprinkle of salt in your pot. Bring that water to a boil. Put the rice in, turn it down and let it simmer for about 20 minutes without lifting the lid. And then your rice will be nice and tasty and also fluffy as well. All right, I think our onion has done just exactly what we want it to. So we're going to add our brown rice at this time. And we're going to stir that in. Okay, let me see here. I want to make sure I haven't left out my peppers. Let me make sure I didn't forget those. All right, and we want to add our peppers in there as well, so those can begin cooking. Now that adds some color to that brown. We're going to just continue stirring that. Allow those vegetables to cook here for a moment. Now I know that sometimes red peppers are a little more expensive, but they do add some nice color, and of course you could substitute green peppers if you don't have red, but as you can see, every vegetable that we add adds additional color to that. All right, we're going to cook that just for a few minutes, and we'll add our peas and our carrots. And as you can see, this brown kind of bland dish is beginning to take on some color when we add those great vegetables. All right, we have added our peas and our carrots and our pepper. We're now going to add our corn to this mixture. This is our frozen corn. And the nice thing about this is a quick and easy one-dish meal, and I think families really like that. I know the cooks really like it, and also those who have to do the cleanup really like that. So it makes it really a little quicker to do. I do want to move back over just for a moment to our ingredients and let you know that all of the ingredients are available actually here in West Liberty. You don't have to travel out of town, and we are not endorsing any particular brand today. These are just the brands that we were able to purchase in West Liberty for you to use. And I do want to talk to you a little bit more about the lower sodium soy sauce. This is a nice alternative to the full sodium. It doesn't make our dishes quite as salty, so it's much healthier for us to use. And it is the less sodium or low sodium soy sauce. And I think once you get used to that, you will really like it because it's not quite as salty. And that's better for us to use. Now we're going to stir those in. Our vegetables are going to be warming, and then we will be adding our pineapple tidbits, our red pepper flakes, our pineapple tidbits, red pepper, our hot sauce, and also our cooked shrimp. And we're going to go ahead and put that garlic in. Let that garlic go in there. All right. So this just needs another minute or so. And the nice thing about the frozen vegetables, they're actually already cooked. So they really just need to be warmed through. So again, this can be a very quick, probably a 20-minute meal or less at night if you're in a hurry. And the nice thing that you can do is work ahead after dinner tonight. You may want to prepare your ingredients, cover those, have those refrigerated, and then tomorrow night all you have to do is pull those out and put them in the skillet for a nice family meal. So we're going to add that, and then we'll get ready to put our shrimp in. Now our shrimp, we have used frozen, peeled, and deveined shrimp, and we're ready to add that to our mix. And once we add that, we're not going to cook it for very long. The nice thing about seafood is it cooks very quickly, and it's very healthful for us. And I'm gonna, while that's cooking just a little more, I want to share with you another little publication that's available from here at the Extension Service is on seafood. Are you reeling in the benefits? And this was a publication that I actually had input in on putting together some years ago, and it shares with you the importance of having seafood or fish weekly. The American Heart Association recommends at least 2 servings a week to help reduce the risk of stroke and heart disease, even depression, Alzheimer's disease, hypertension, which of course is high blood pressure, and other chronic diseases. So don't be afraid to try some seafood. If you don't love seafood, this may be a great dish for you to try because it has a little seafood in there, which makes it a lower cost meal, and then using the frozen shrimp allows us just to get out what we need. So that's a good thing. We're going to add our hot pepper to our dish. Remember, don't panic, it's just a tablespoon. Our red pepper flakes and our pineapple, and we're going to let that cook a couple of minutes just to let those seasonings kind of meld together and add to our tasty dish. And you can't smell today from where you are, but I can smell the sauce and the red pepper, and that's going to add just a little bit of kick, which will flavor this rice because we had quite a bit of rice in there. And then talking a little more about the importance of adding fish or seafood. B vitamins are an important part and component of our shrimp. Vitamin D, which helps our bone health, and many of us are actually very low on vitamin D, so including shrimp or seafood can help us increase that. Vitamin A for our vision and a healthy, pretty skin. Selenium, which is an antioxidant. Zinc, and of course selenium is that antioxidant which are our cancer fighters. Our iodine, and that helps with our thyroid and the function of that thyroid, which is very important to prevent thyroid disease. Also iron, which is important for red blood cell production, and calcium, which is great for our teeth as well. So don't be afraid to include that. You do want to handle your seafood safely. In order to thaw your shrimp, all we did today was just measure out the amount of shrimp we need, put that in a colander and run cold water over that, and then it's ready to eat. Because basically, you can see it's already cooked, so it doesn't need a lot of cooking, it just needs warming up. Now, after that, we've added our shrimp. We want to allow that to cook just about 2 to 4 minutes, and you can see what pretty color that is. It's looking pretty tasty. I think we will enjoy that here in just a few minutes. Now, if you stay tuned just a moment, we'll come back and show you what it looks like ready to serve. All right, you can see our dish is just about ready, and I'm making a well in the center, and we're going to add our eggs right there. You wondered when I was going to put that in, didn't you? So we're going to put those eggs in, and we're just going to scramble those. We just want to cook them just about a minute. Won't take long. We beat those eggs a little bit with a fork ahead of time, and then we're going to scramble these right here in the middle of our skillet and get that ready to stir in. So we'll just give that just a minute. And we've talked about all of our ingredients today and how healthy they are. Now, I don't know about you all, but I could make a meal just on this without adding anything else to it. But you certainly can make a meal by adding, you can add pork chop to that. You could add a garden salad with this, skim milk or low-fat milk to make it a meal. But I think this would even make enough on its own. But I'm going to show you here in just a minute also what an actual serving size. This recipe makes 6 servings, and that's 6 1-cup servings. So that's enough. You know, we sometimes eat more than we should, and that's the amount of this particular dish that we should have, again, along with the other ingredients to make it a meal. So we're going to get our eggs all scrambled up here, and then we'll be ready to garnish. As soon as these eggs get scrambled, I'm going to add our soy sauce on there, and we'll give it a final stir, and it will be ready to enjoy. All right, our eggs are cooked. We have those sufficiently scrambled. So now I'm going to just add our low sodium soy sauce on here. Just going to kind of pour that around, and then give this a few final stirs, and our dish will be ready to serve. Another reason I really like to use the non-stick skillets, it allows us, once again, if you'll notice, we didn't add any oil to this at all. And you know, if I'm cooking with oil, I like to use olive oil, but we didn't even use one bit of fat. We used the pineapple juice as that agent to brown those onions in. So this has turned out very nicely. Just get a little look at that. Looks very tasty. Now I'm going to show you what a serving is, what it looks like on our plate. I like to teach people, if you're trying to eat the portion you should, actually measure it into a measuring cup. And you'll notice that's what I'm doing here. Measure that in a measuring cup, and I've been a little generous even. And then put that on your plate. Of course, you shouldn't spill it like I have. And we're going to sprinkle just a few green onions on there. And then you'll see if we had that plate, we could add our pork chop on there, a garden salad or another vegetable, and we would have our meal ready to serve and ready to eat. So I hope you enjoy that, and we'll try that recipe. I think you will like it and see that it is a very tasty one. April is a month of it's Child Abuse Awareness Month, and I can't hardly go through April without talking about that just a moment. We want to all watch out for our children, help them be safe, help them be protected at all times. And April is also Stress Awareness Month. And I'm sure none of you watching today have any stress at all. But one of the best ways to manage that is actually through self-care. Stay active, get plenty of sleep, eat healthy foods, stay in touch with people, get out in your community, and don't lose touch. And friends, if you have people who are kind of beginning to withdraw, not being involved in church or community activities like they once were, that may be a sign of some depression or very high levels of stress. So invite them, stop by, see them, take them a little food, and enjoy a meal with them. So do try to get that 30 minutes of physical activity each day. Adults, you can actually spend time outside with your family or friends. Leave the cell phone at home and go for a walk to reduce that stress level. You know, there's not too many things that won't hurt us to leave for about 30 minutes. And of course, our youth could do yoga, or adults could as well. So we hope you'll reduce your stress, enjoy healthy eating, and be sure and contact us here at the Morgan County Extension Service at 743-3292. Our next session of Cooking Through the Calendar at the Extension Office will be May 21st, where we'll enjoy making chicken and ranch mushrooms. I'm Nellie Buchanan, Morgan County Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences Education for the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, Food, and Environment.